We're going to lose our Atlantic salmon. And think about the history of Atlantic salmon fishing on this river. It's our culture, it's what people associate with. This can be gone because of inaction. So we need to make the public aware that not only are bass eating our salmon smolts going to the ocean, we know that, we've documented that, but now there's adult striped bass in the river. They're residing in the river all summer. And these are voracious feeders, and what is there to eat in the river? The number one species there is Atlantic salmon parr. And so they're gobbling up the Atlantic salmon parr.
Yeah, I can see the handwriting on the wall. I'm not kidding you. It's not really for me. I had my time, and I grew up with the older guides and the history of the river. But this is my grandchildren. I love for them to be able to come and enjoy it on the river, and the fishing aspect of it. But if the federal government don't step in and do something, it's going to be lost. There's so many stripers now in the river. They're eating everything that could be seen. I mean, not only that, but stripers right now in the pools, my guests in camp now, they're convinced the pool is nice and quiet, and all of a sudden it'll be a striper do the water jump, and then the salmon, they just boil. I mean, the water just boils, and they figure that the stripers are chasing the salmon. And so what's going to happen if the stripers are still here when the salmon start to spawn? What about the few eggs that are going to be spawned? Are they going to clean them up too? We have no idea. But as quick as they do something, get those stripers out of the river, do something, or it's going to be lost. We're having a lot of problems.
We could see this coming for a number of years now, and we've been talking with DFO for a number of years, but we've seen little in the way of solutions. We've seen the numbers go up and up over the years to the point where we got to 300,000 approximately last year. This year, the bass numbers have exploded to 900,000. I don't think anybody saw 900,000 coming, but at 300,000, we were deeply concerned that we had a big problem. And but 900,000 is over the top. I'm really not sure at this point how we recover from 900,000 striped bass in our river system.
We want a healthy watershed, we want everything in equilibrium, and therefore the call of action is now, reduce the striped bass population and let everything find its equilibrium.
We need to encourage anglers to catch the striped bass. I hear they're wonderful eating, so we need to encourage the rules to change so that people can retain striped bass, so that they can fish them, and that maybe we can encourage commercial fishery of the striped bass to help cut down the population to more sustainable levels, and that maybe the salmon and the striped bass can share the river at some point. But right now it's a very one-sided battle against the salmon, and the salmon need our help.
I'm just another concerned fisherman, and you know, we're getting more concerned every year. We're getting more bass here in the river every year, and it is becoming a serious situation, and we're very concerned.
Hi, my name is Sean Betts. I'm with Suitor Salmon Club. It's a club on the southwest Miramichi River. So we just arrived here not long ago, and my brother Gary went out to try fishing for a minute, and he was no time, ended up hooking a striped bass. So this is not typical, you know, for a major salmon pool to have this many striped bass in it. So I floated the pool the other day and probably saw between 30 to 40 striped bass in this pool, and not all of them were small. There were some very good sized striped bass in the pool. We don't want to look back 10 years from now and say, you know, we should have done more. Now is the time that we have to act, because, you know, there's so much at stake. There's so many jobs. All these small communities rely on all these jobs up and down the river.
You know, I've been here all my life, and we never ever seen any striped bass in this part of the river ever. And now it's a real common thing to see them here. They're not up here just touring around. I mean, they're up here eating salmon parr or whatever they can find, for sure. So, yeah.
One guy last week caught 3 bass in one morning. That's more than I've caught in my life. But I don't fish anymore, I guide. but it's got to stop. It really has to stop.
I know that Miramichi, the city, really benefits from that striper industry, but it's such a small window. It's 3 weeks, 4 weeks that people are there, and it's really busy down there, but it's a small industry. It's a $2 million industry. Salmon fishing was $47 million, you know, so we can't trade a $2 million industry for a $47 million industry, you know, so we need to make sure that we get this under control, or try our best, you know. Our biggest fear is, are we too late? You know, if we don't soon get someone to realize that, yeah, this is a real problem and we need to move forward and do a commercial harvest to get the numbers under control, you know, we could be in real trouble.
I think it's a total lack of management on the part of the DFO. I think they just totally dropped the ball in the last 50 years. There's been millions of dollars spent through the Salmon Federation, through the MSA, thousands and thousands of volunteer hours, and here we are in 2018 and the salmon is still declining, and now we got the problem with the stripers. So, you know, you don't want to just kill all the stripers. That ain't practical to save those few salmon left. So I think it's time that DFO, you know, like takes some responsibility and protects and does something about the salmon, and hopefully implement a well managed and careful commercial fishery for the stripers. That would help get the numbers down to a reasonable level, and then you know, forge straight ahead into the cast program.
We need to get that striped bass population under control, and it's the flick of a pen. Our politicians can make that happen today. Our First Nations need those fisheries, those commercial fisheries. They're ready and willing to do their part. I think it's time to act.